What's going on, everybody? My name is Trenell, and I'm here as always with the homeboy Todd, aka Up Jump the Boogie. What's good, my friend?
Not much, man. We went through some issues.
Yeah,
We are here.
it's a little bit of a struggle to get this podcast going, but we are here. We are live. It is October 9th, 2016, and this is episode 17 of a weekly gaming news show. We have a lot to talk about, but before we get into our daily icebreaker, we actually have some updates and corrections from our previous episode that we need to address. First off, being the story that we had, it was kind of a non story, but last week was kind of like a slow news week, so I thought I would bring it up just in case something came out of it, and that was the Nintendo NY private event. And just as Todd predicted, there was absolutely zero NX news at that event. It was actually it was a private event for the Disney Magical World 2, which is a Nintendo 3DS game, and supposedly a Disney Channel like star was there, so that's why they had everything like closed off. It was for that. They also had like right after that event, there was also an event for like some Yokai Watch thing going on. So basically, no NX news. The hype is not real.
No news is good
No
news.
news. It is crazy. So it was that, and then a correction. Because last week we were going over some of the upcoming games from 2016 that we were excited for, and I brought up Yakuza 6 and Yakuza 0. And the thing is, Yakuza 6 hasn't even been announced or confirmed for an international release yet. As of right now, it's only coming out in Japan, and that's in 2017. And then Yakuza 0 is already out in Japan, but we're going to be getting that in January 17. So overall, it shouldn't have been on my list because it doesn't come out until next year.
Doesn't
But
exist.
it either doesn't exist for our country or isn't going to be here
Well,
until next year.
well, the cool thing is, correct me if I'm wrong. PS4 and Xbox One, they're not region locked, so you can theoretically order a copy from Japan and have it shipped over. You
True,
just,
but then like if the game doesn't have English subtitles, then
uh,
you're pretty much stuck.
you
And
get
there's a lot of dialogue in the
in
Yakuza
Yakuza
games.
series. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, lots of dialogue. I know that there are some people that will go through the game in Japanese and just wing it, just figure it out. But I'm not about that life, dude.
Yeah, I hear that.
I am not
I
about
hear
that
that.
life. So I will be waiting for the international release, which will not have English voice actors like Yakuza and Yakuza 2 did back on the PS2. I think those are the only two games. I could be wrong, but those. I know Yakuza 1 was probably one of the only ones that had English voice actors. Since then, they've either only released in Japan, or if they came out in the US, they only had Japanese voice actors with subtitles.
Okay.
So I will be waiting on those. And our last correction was from basically confirming what we already said, and because we had stated in the previous episode that you will need the disc. The Call of Duty Infinite Warfare disc will be required to play
The
the Modern Warfare remaster. It's going to be required, and so we basically got confirmation for that. So that's something that we wanted to address here as
Yeah,
well.
Activision put it up on their fact page
Hmm.
for Call of Duty. So, yeah, you need this. Like I said, I'm not surprised. Me personally, I'm not affected because I'll be getting a digital copy. I get most of my games digitally now.
Yeah,
But just keep that in mind if you were planning to, if you're like me and you're getting Infinite Warfare just so you can wax nostalgia on Call of Duty 4, you got to keep that disc.
you got to keep it. You can't get rid of it. There's no like just installing the installing the freaking remaster and then like using the Infinite Warfare disc as a coaster. There's going to be none of that.
Nope, none of that. Not this time.
Not at this time. All right, so with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump into our weekly icebreaker. If you're new to the podcast, the weekly icebreaker is a segment that we do every single week to kind of get us in a thinking mode. And this week's question, I want to talk about your guilty pleasure games. What are some of your guilty pleasures as far as gaming is concerned? And I want you to go first, Bookie. I'm very curious to see what you have in store for me.
I like gaming, and nothing I play I feel guilty about. But I guess to the masses, a couple of games I played that people might look at me kind of sideways. I like playing.
You like them dating
SimCity? Yeah, the dating Sims. No, SimCity.
Okay.
I get on SimCity every now and then.
Wow. Okay. I never would have thought that you played that kind of game.
Yeah. I like it. It's cool. I mean, it's something. I don't know. City management. Sometimes I get on there, kill time, build a city, destroy it, what have you. It's fun. Another one. And dang, this is going on the internet, isn't it?
Yeah, this is going up on the interwebs.
I like Connect dance games. To be quiet, I play with my daughter.
Oh, see, you can't.
Yeah, so
can't even be mad at you with that one. Once you bring in children, I play with my daughter. Like, okay, it's justified.
Yeah, we get the Dance Central going on. My favorite one, and it was on 360. I hope they're bringing the backwards compatibility. I think it was Ubisoft. They did the Michael Jackson one.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, it was all Michael Jackson songs. Yeah, definitely. I enjoy those games, and also like my niece. They're all grown now, but when my nieces used to come and visit from London, we'll play dance games, and we'll do some of the lip sync. We used to play lips too. So
okay.
Those would be my guilty pleasure games.
Oh, you can't really like harp on you for playing games with your kids. Like that's just cute. Okay. As for me, see, and the thing is, a lot of the games that I play, a lot of people would consider like guilty pleasures, like Sonic the Hedgehog. As you can see, I'm wearing my Sonic themed T-shirt right now. So, but that's not necessarily a guilty pleasure of mine. I'm proud to be a Sonic fan for better or for worse. Right. But some of my worst guilty pleasures are just video game franchises that are adapted into beat 'em ups. I am a freak for beat 'em ups. So if you take anything that is remotely like nostalgic in any way, shape, or form, if you turn it into a beat 'em up and add some kind of like co-op, I'm probably gonna play it. And the main reason I bring this up is because I recently saw a trailer for a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers beat 'em up. Dog, that shit looks tight.
What?
That shit looks tight.
When is this coming out?
Oh man, I don't think it's coming out until 2017. There wasn't a huge press release for it, but I did notice it. Bandai Namco released a trailer for it on their.
So it's a major publisher release.
Oh, wow. Huh? Yeah. But yeah, they put out a trailer on the Bandai Namco YouTube page, and like when I saw it, like the nostalgia bomb just like just exploded, man. And so I'm probably gonna get it, and you're gonna see me and my brothers and probably Vanessa too playing Power Rangers on the Xbox One.
Yeah, I always felt Power Rangers was so cool. My brother, that's right underneath me, he loved the Power Rangers.
Man. Power Rangers, I was so into it when I was a kid, man. And they have all the seasons on Netflix. So every once in a while, when nobody's looking, I will watch an episode of Power Rangers. Just be like, damn, man, that's just so crazy. That's so awesome. Crazy. Yeah, and it's the original Mighty Morphin cast, so that's like my childhood right there.
Yeah, didn't they announce at Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, they announced the movie, right?
Well, yeah, the movie has been announced, but they just released a trailer, the first teaser trailer for the movie, and dude, it's looking like I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna see it, man. I'm gonna see it for the nostalgia, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with some poet about your childhood. I mean, that's why I go see all the Transformers movies.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's a Michael Bay movies are that story.
Just to go off on the side here.
Okay.
The Transformers cartoons were just as horrible and just as corny.
Yeah, corny as hell. This mad 80s.
So that's why I don't have a problem with the movies being horribly corny, because that's
That
how the show is. So
that's the source material, baby.
right,
Bring the
exactly.
cheese.
So
Bring
that's
it on.
exactly. But yeah,
Okay.
that's interesting. Beat 'em ups. I like beat 'em ups. I don't know about Power Rangers beat 'em up.
Oh man, I love it. I remember I had the one on the Super Nintendo, and then there was like a versus fighting game on the Sega Genesis. That thing was dope, son. That was a dope ass game.
I probably seen it and forgot about it, because
Oh, it's
it's
so
just
good,
something I
man.
wanted to fry out of my just get out of here.
Oh man, if I can ever find that game and like, a way to stream it or something, like me and my brothers will play some versus like Power Rangers. I think
Oh,
the game was called Power Rangers like versus battle or something like
oh,
that.
you can get one of those great emulators that's been popping up on
On
Xbox
Xbox One,
One.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Freaking crazy. But yeah, so that was the weekly icebreaker. I just wanted to bring that up. I just needed an excuse to talk about that Power Rangers beat 'em up, dude. I honestly just needed an excuse for that. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into our top 5 news stories for the week. Why don't you take us off? Take off with
Okay,
that.
so this Tuesday, I believe it's Tuesday. Google had a event. They had a hardware announcement, where they announced a new phone, the Google Pixel phone. But the gaming related thing they announced is Google Daydream VR. So back at Google I/O in June, which is a developers conference, they announced the Daydream VR platform. It's
Okay.
basically the Android's platform for VR. Um, and this past week, they announced hardware. So they announced a new phone. Basically, the VR goggles are dumb goggles. You put them on. They have very limited tech. The tech actually is all coming from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're like made of cloth and plastic. I mean,
It looks
soft
pretty
plastic.
looks pretty sleek. I like the design.
And it should become. They made it in conjunction. I think it was is with Levi's.
Okay.
Helped them help design it as far as the comfort thing goes. And it comes with a controller. It's normally $79. Um, if you go out and buy you the Google Pixel phone, if you buy it directly from Google, or Verizon is the only U.S. carrier that's carrying it,
Mm-hmm.
you get it from them. You get the VR headset for free right now. I'm not sure how long that's going on, but the Daydream VR only works right now with the Pixel. But considering the Daydream VR is a platform, any other Android phone maker can adapt their phone to Daydream VR. The thing with it is there's a requirement for there's a spec requirement. It's a high-end spec requirement. Make sure that the content runs pretty smooth.
Okay.
It does come with a remote control with 2 buttons. I guess it's some motion. Some motion tracking and a remote control for controls while you're playing the games. Um, but I thought it was pretty interesting. It's almost like, or it's like if you've heard of the Samsung Gear VR, it's basically the same thing as that. But as opposed to being locked into Samsung, you'll be able to theoretically going forward pick any Android phone and stick it in there as long as it's Daydream compatible.
That's cool.
So I mean that's a cheap way to get into VR. Like I said, it's $79 by itself. If you want to buy the new Pixel phone, the Pixel or Pixel XL, 5.5 inch phone, they're shipping on the 20th, and you get the VR goggles free for a limited time.
Hey, so I feel like, and this is what is making me believe that VR is just going to be like a really short-lived fad, because they're already so many different like ways or different types of VR.
Yeah, the different
Like
platforms.
the
Yeah.
different is just a lot of platforms, and like the spectrum of like quality and intensity as far as like the hardware that you're going to be using. It's just a wide spectrum.
Well,
And
let me say this. So with Samsung Gear and the Google Pixel, the Google Pixel, or even a Daydream VR, though
mhm,
they're more of a platform than a hardware device. Where the Vive and the Oculus Rift are hardware devices, and even the PSVR, they're locked in. These are more of a platform, and they will scale with the phone. As we saw when Apple announced the iPhone 7, I mean, the graphics and the ability on that phone are amazing. The Pixel is supposed to be just as powerful, so you're thinking at least last gen graphics, and it's only going to get better. So for $79, and if you're upgrading your phone, I, that's an easier sell to me than buying $400 for PSVR and then having to wait in 2 years buy another one because the one I bought is obsolete. Where
Yeah.
I typically upgrade my phone every 2 or 3 years, and when I upgrade my phone, I'm still going to be able to use this headset. Uh, that's cool, but I understand where you're going. I mean, it's too much. There's 4 platforms now, right? There's
Yeah.
Oculus, there's the 5. There's Oculus, there's HTC Vive, there's Daydream VR. Samsung Gear VR is not its own platform because it's all of the VR content is based off of Android. So
Yeah.
whatever. And then there's PSVR. My issue with any of the VR is unimaginative. They're just taking old tech and just throwing everything in first person. Ride a
Yeah.
roller coaster, uh, jump off a cliff, drive a car, go snowboard. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Some of the educational features, some of the educational type applications for it are kind of cool. Some of the torn applications where you go to France and walk around France. That's kind of cool. But other than that, I'm unimpressed.
Yeah, it's just not doing anything for me. And I'm glad that I wasn't an early adopter of VR. I'm just really happy that I'm not one of those guys.
Yeah.
Because honestly, unless you're playing horror games, like there's really nothing to play on VR right now.
Yeah.
Mad horror games though.
Yeah. I'm waiting for them to put Madden on VR. I might play that. That might be fun. Not really.
They already tried to do Madden with motion controls and that didn't work out.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah, so it's like, come on, man.
The most underrated thing with Madden though is the voice controls. I love shouting out my audibles. That's cool.
Yeah, voice controls, but I'm talking about like as far as like motion controls.
Yeah.
And then I think they implemented like a first person like mode in Madden. I don't know if it's like been a reoccurring thing every year, but I recall a first person mode in Madden.
The only first person mode I remember is from like old Joe Montana. It was Joe Montana football.
Was it?
Yeah, on Sega Genesis, of Joe Montana football. You looked out. It gave you like a little helmet thing on the screen. You're looking out and you see like arrows on the side that show like the B receiver, the A receiver, and like you see the other receiver running across the middle.
Yeah,
I remember that. But
I mean, it may still be in the games, just not something that they advertise when they're coming out with like newer versions of Madden. But I do recall there being a first person mode. And it was probably around the same time where they did like the voice control for like the 360 Connect. So it was definitely last gen.
I've been skipping around. I used to buy Madden every year. I've been skipping around. I didn't buy Madden the year before. I bought it last year. I'll buy it this year. But the reason I bought it last year is like right after Christmas there was a sale. We got Madden and FIFA both for like $40 or $50.
Right. Yeah, I remember you told me about that one.
Yeah, I'll wait for that and I'll get it again that way. I mean, Madden, I'm burned out.
Yeah, burnt out. That's like for these like yearly games. I feel like that's like the trend for a lot of the faithfuls. It's just like I'm just getting burnt out, man. Just every year I got to buy a $60 game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next story, and this has to do with HDR. So since you are our TV expert, being an ex-employee of where'd you work? You worked at Samsung? Sony. Okay.
Yeah, the Sony
so yeah,
store.
at the Sony store. So I'll let you go ahead and take this one as well, because you'll definitely be able to explain it better than me.
Well, Deus Ex, Square Enix announced the update coming for Deus Ex that's going to patch in HDR support for PS4 and Xbox One S, and it will patch in 4K. Let's not say 4K, but PS4 Pro support. With PS4 Pro support is upgraded graphics details and visual fidelity. That's supposed to be coming. There's some crashes some other fixes, some various fixes in there, and new items being added. But the big headline is HDR support for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I mean, as you know, Xbox One S is released as HDR, and Sony released an update the week after the PlayStation meeting to implement HDR onto PS4. And as far as I know, this is the first game on PlayStation 4 that supports HDR. Xbox has a Forza 3 came out that supported HDR. I think that's it. So far, no, NBA 2K17 also supported HDR, if I'm not mistaken. But if you have the hardware, you have to have a TV, and the only way you can get HDR is to have a 4K TV with the HDR support. If you have it, you're going to get better graphics. There's more detail in the dark, brighter, prettier colors, so on and so forth. Me personally, I like HDR. I mean, on Forza Horizon 3, it's amazing. Man, it's got to be one of the prettiest games I've ever played. I mean, it's with enough play. I just to see the difference, I turned it on and off, and the colors pop. And what you notice is when you're on the road in the sky, especially in that game, because you're driving a lot during the daytime. The detail that's coming out of the shadows and in the sky, as opposed to it just being like a pale blue, it's really nice. And I can imagine in Deus Ex, I watched you play on the stream. I mean, there's some scenes in there that can definitely benefit from having HDR, and it probably look pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, personally, not something that I'm necessarily interested in, but I mean, anything to make the game look better that doesn't cost you anything, I'm all for it. So if you have a TV that supports HDR, it's not going to do anything but better, like help or enhance your experience with the game.
Right. And yeah, I mean, if you have the equipment, it's definitely worth it. If you don't have it right now, don't run out and buy it right now, because the holidays, Black Friday, there's going to be
deals.
There's a big push to get 4K in the house right now. So 4K TVs, and we were talking about this before, like around Labor Day. I mean, not Labor Day. Wait, it is Labor Day, right? September 5th. Yeah, that's Labor Day. Around Labor Day, there was LG had a 4K TV on sale with a free Xbox for like sub $800, sub $799. So you can look for more of those type of deals coming up. There's a rumor that there's going to be a $500 50-inch 4K TV this Black Friday. So there's going to be deals to be had.
Definitely.
If you have the means, I would recommend it. But yeah, and then there's other updates. We'll have the update notes, the patch notes in the show notes. Yeah. And HDR first game for PlayStation. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I'm pretty sure this is the first HDR game on PlayStation.
Okay, and just like if it wasn't made clear, HDR, all the versions of PlayStation have a HDR support. So if you have the PlayStation 4, the OG, or the standard, or if you have the Slim, and then the PlayStation 4 Pro is also going to have HDR support.
Right, and the Xbox users, you aren't so lucky. If you have an OG Xbox, you have no HDR. You have to have an Xbox One S for the HDR support.
Right. So, with that, we can go ahead and move on to our next story. And this is actually some really good news, and I'm really happy to be reporting on this. Because in a previous episode, we did mention that Bethesda had came out and said that there were not going to be any mod support for Fallout 4 and Skyrim. Well, it looks like that has been overturned, because they released a like on their homepage, Bethesda.net, they released a article basically saying that mods and 4K are coming to the PlayStation 4 for Skyrim and Fallout 4. So this is actually really, really good news.
It's good news, definitely.
Really good news. And with Skyrim coming out on October 28th, so at the end of this month, that's perfect timing for them to be able to, patch whatever like issues they had with Sony and get this for the fans. Because I mean, it was promised like before Fallout 4 launched, and they still didn't have it.
Right.
So.
They ran into some issues the way Sony wanted the audio files rendered, and apparently there was some kind of security issues. So there are a couple of caveats. One caveat there is that it's only in-game assets. You will only be able to mod with in-game assets.
Right. You can't use external assets.
Right. But other than that, I mean, it's modder's paradise. Go at it. Right. something else they did announce with the mods is that Skyrim will render native 4K on the for those that have a PS4 Pro. So if you have a PS4 Pro, Skyrim will be in 4K. It's still be getting the mods. The mods will be coming first on Skyrim and followed later on Fallout 4.
Yeah, so this is actually really good because it's just the way that Bethesda came out and announced that they weren't gonna get the mods. It was basically saying that, hey, yo, we tried everything, and that was was the ongoing trend for a while. Where every time they made some kind of like announcement or release with any kind of news, they were always like, hey, we're trying to do it, but Sony is just like not letting it happen. so I feel like this is nothing but a win. This is a win for everybody involved, in my opinion. Everything okay, Boogie?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Oh, okay. No, you look. I heard a beep and then something. I was like, okay, let me make sure that we're still alive.
No, I'm still like somebody's at my front door. It's actually my daughter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So, this is a win. I'm proud of whoever at Sony, for letting it happen and we spoke about this before as well, where Sony has just been reluctant to give the people exactly what they want. There's been talks about, going cross-platform as far as online gaming has been concerned, and Sony being the only ones, holding back on allowing that to happen.
Right.
So with this, I feel like they're loosening them up, and hopefully Sony will listen to their fans, and we can get other features in the future.
Right. I mean, they came out at the PlayStation meeting and said Sony is targeting PC players. Mm-hmm. And if you're targeting PC players, you have to have mods, and for them getting mods, that's definitely hitting at that target audience that they announced. So
yeah,
it's good for them for getting it together. So yeah, mods coming. It's coming first on Skyrim with 4K. So my assumption that it's going to launch with it. They didn't specify. It may come later, but it is coming for native 4K and mods on Skyrim. And then they'll update Fallout 4. Fallout 4 will get mods as well as 4K support too as well.
Okay. Do they have a release date for the Fallout 4 update?
No. It just states, and I'll read it verbatim. After the work is complete on Skyrim, we'll be updating Fallout 4 for both mods and PS4 Pro.
Okay. So that's excellent. I mean, for anybody who's still playing Fallout 4, man, I put that thing down, and it's like I am not afraid, but I'm just like intimidated to pick it back up. It's like there's just so much game there. And like I made a promise to myself never to play Skyrim ever again, just because of how much of my life was just taken away from me just being like just entranced and engaged in that world.
Farming.
Just doing everything. There's like I haven't even completed the main storyline in Skyrim.
All the side stuff, huh?
Yeah, it's just I have it's not like I haven't been playing. I have like tons of hours in the game. There's just so many side quests.
Yeah, so much to do. Yeah,
so much to do, man. And what's it called? Fallout 4 is the exact same way. There's just so much to do. And then I feel like even though I've put like mad hours into that game, I barely scratched the surface because of all like the customization you can do, all of the crafting, the building of like cities and like neighborhoods. It's too much game for me, man. I can't do it. I have a full-time job and I'm in a committed relationship. I can't even imagine somebody with kids. Like, geez, it is just a lot to deal with. But I'm glad that the modders will be able to go ham on Skyrim and then Fallout 4 on the PS4. So that's actually very good news.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that step in the right direction.
Step in the right direction. I agree 100%. So let's go ahead and move on to the next story. And,
okay.
Oh boy. Yeah,
guys,
go ahead.
Hold on to your hats.
Hold on. I'm bracing myself. Bracing myself for impact right now.
Grab your hard drive and hold it tight. Because if you're buying Call of Duty Infinite Warfare with the Call of Duty 4 Remastered, you're looking at an install of $150. 30 gigabytes. That's not a error. 130 gigabyte install. Initially, it looks like, so the story came out. Somebody got their hands on a copy of the game. Is from in France. They got their hands on the box of the game. On the back of the box, it said 130 gig needed for install.
That's crazy.
Activision did update Activision updated the FAQ page for Call of Duty, and it states the estimated storage space for both games now, not just one, is combined to 130 gigabytes. They say it's a high-end estimate, which includes both games, day one updates, as well as all of the Modern Warfare multiplayer maps that are released before the end of the year, which I think there's 10 to start, and I believe they're adding 6 more coming in December.
So this includes like some future DLC, is what you're saying?
Yeah, at least six maps.
Okay.
Yeah. So I still think that's a bit out.
Yeah, definitely.
And now that's just for the standard PlayStation version, right? I'm assuming the Xbox is probably gonna weigh in close. Remember, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered have been optimized for PlayStation Pro with higher fidelity graphics. That's going to be more data. That's going to be a larger install. So there's 2 issues with that. If you're buying it like me digitally, I've been saying that for the past couple of weeks, you probably want to start preloading it. It comes out Tuesday. You probably want to start preloading it Tuesday before.
A week.
Because that's a ton. And secondly, if you're buying it on disc, I'm sorry, man, you're not playing it on Tuesday.
No.
So I don't.
Even if you go to the midnight release, like you get the midnight release like that Monday at midnight, or that Tuesday like 12 a.m.
Yep, just
you go home and you just go to bed. Go to bed. Go to work. Come back. Have some supper. Because that is going to take a while. Yeah, 130 gigs?
That's outrageous. And somebody was saying the breakdown was something like 90-40, 90 for the new one, 40 for the old one. That's rumored. I haven't seen anything that supports that or indicates that, or what the actual disk space is for each version of the game. Activision, on the fact, just combined both. We'll find out once the game is installed.
Oh man!
But if you think about it, PlayStation and Xbox right now, the base models are 500 gigs. That's 25% of your storage space. 1/4 of your storage space is 2 games. That's harmful.
Yeah, that's a. Jeez, that's a lot, man.
And then again, and then like. If it's a game that you play fairly often, but you need space, don't delete it.
Right, because you have to and that's what a lot of people have been doing that don't or haven't haven't had the chance or don't have the money or time to get an external hard drive. They have to go back and delete games off their hard drive, and then when they want to play them again, they reinstall them.
Exactly, and that's it's problematic when the game is this large.
Right.
Extremely problematic. So we'll talk more about this coming up, because that's going to be our long form. But yeah,
right.
Make sure you have that hard drive space. Start clearing out space now.
Yeah, start deleting your games now. Start preloading the game now. And then maybe you'll be able to play like at launch, quote unquote.
Right.
I don't feel like anybody's going to be playing that thing at launch. Because that is crazy.
I'm sure. Well, the good thing is if you buy it digitally, you get to preload it, right?
Yeah.
If you buy it physically, as you SOL.
Yeah.
So there's that. So yeah.
Oh man, the midnight release at GameStop is going to be bare bones, dude. Ain't nobody going to pick up the physical copy for that.
Yeah, people will, because people don't know. That's why you should listen to our show.
Yeah, that's why you should watch the show. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit us like freaking Google Play, all of that, yo. You get all the details, man. We try to help y'all. Stay woke, son. Stay woke.
Yeah, man, that's hurtful. That's man, 130 gigs.
Yeah, so
500 gig hard drive. That's absurd.
let's save the rest of that discussion for the long form
Yeah.
and move on to the final story, news story for the week. That was just like Jesus, man, that's crazy.
Yes, that's
Um, okay, so we've been talking about video game adaptations into movies on this podcast for a while, and just recently during a Gears of War 4 live stream that took place on the 7th,
yep.
which was on Friday.
That's at the
This
Comic Con, New York
right.
Comic. Yeah.
The what's its name? What's his name? Jesus, what's his name?
Rod Ferguson.
Yeah, Rod Ferguson, the studio head over at Coalition. I think that's the name of the developer now. Coalition. Yeah. He basically, confirmed that Universal Pictures have, picked up the rights for a Gears of War movie. Now, this is very exciting for me, and it's something that's been in the works ever since Gears of War 1.
They've been talking about it.
Yeah, they've been talking about it for a very, very long time. So, and it wasn't anything like super crazy. They showed a small graphic on the live stream with the Universal Pictures and Gears of War or whatever, and so it's happening. So that's actually really good. My thing is, and I said this the last time we talked about Gears of War, is that they better have my boy Terry Tate as Coltrane. People that do not know who Terry Tate is, his real name is Lester Spigot, and he's the voice actor for the character Coltrane or Augustus Cole.
If you don't know who Terry Tate is, go to YouTube and search Terry Tate office linebacker.
Go learn why they casted him for that voice acting role, because he is pretty much that character.
He's awesome
in the game, and it's freaking awesome. It's an awesome online web series of videos, and it's just perfect casting, man. It's like if they don't have him as Cole, I'm a riot. I think I will. I think I'm gonna riot. But I'm probably by myself. Yeah, but probably by myself.
So just off topic. So Rod Ferguson, I watched the video, right? They did the announcement, right? Rod Ferguson's out there doing an announcement. Did he slick in a second announcement while he was out there? Did you notice his shirt?
What? It's like a Gears. What? It looks like a 5 on there, right?
Yeah, it's a 5 on his shirt. Gears 5 shirt on, right?
Gears 5 confirmed. I don't. I mean, I would be surprised if there was only one Gears of War game on the Xbox One throughout the entire life cycle. So, but yeah, no, that is definitely a very good observation there. If you look on his T-shirt, there is it looks like
it's the tick marks,
like tick marks, or
1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 across, and it has the Gears logo. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it has the slash, and then it has the Gears logo on the corner of the slash. So
yeah, so Gears 5 confirmed.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Gears of War 5 has been confirmed at New York Comic Con. Go ahead and pre-order.
I'm interested in the movie because Gears, at least the initial trilogy, lends itself well to a movie narrative. It's actually a really decent story, outside of the cover shooting the bullet sponges.
Right. Yeah. So what do you think they should do? Should this be like a movie where they try to stick really close to the source material, or do you think they should take not necessarily a left field, but maybe create their own story within the universe, kind of the same way that the Assassin's Creed movie is doing?
Yeah, I would like to see a direct narrative from game to movie. I would like to see the Gears trilogy in one movie, because there's enough
in one movie. That might take a while, dude.
No, if you think about it, because Gears 1 through 3, there's not a ton of narrative. There's a lot of fighting, and the fighting is a lot. But as far as the cutscenes and the narrative is, you can fit that in about two and a half hour movie.
I don't know, man. I think you would have to do at least 2 movies for the entire trilogy, at the very least.
I think you can do one. I think if you want, I think the studios will be greedy and want to do. If they do it, they'll do three, maybe more. But I don't want. I hate when they make a video game adaptation and all they're doing is using the name and the characters and nothing else is familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I don't want.
Okay.
I'm not excited about the Assassin's Creed side story that they got coming out, but it's more forgivable with Assassin's Creed because the game series has ventures out with side stories. So
Yeah.
that I'm okay with that. But with Gears, I mean, Gears has been Gears. There's no side stories. I mean, Gears of War.
I mean, they have had the novels, the actual novels, which tell like side stories and stuff.
Right. But yeah, I would like to see something a lot more faithful to the game series than just using the characters and some of the enemies from the game.
Okay. Yeah. Same here. And I really hope that the people involved with creating the story in the games are involved in some in some way, shape, or form with the movie adaptation.
Right.
Like, I don't just want Hollywood to just have like full reign on everything that's going on with the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Because then we'll get something like fucking Doom with the Rock Johnson.
The Rock. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's a game that's just using the characters and some assets and it's just going all off the rails.
Yeah.
And that I don't want to see.
All right. So how many chain? All right. Let's make a bet. All right. Side tangent. We're gonna make a bet. How many chainsaw kills do you think we're gonna get in this movie? And we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to this once the movie comes out. Only one?
I say one.
Okay, so anything I say, if it's not one, then I win.
I say one. Wait. Let me rethink that.
Yeah, rethink that just a tad. Because the prize, what's gonna be the prize?
I don't know, but I think it's going to be one, and it's going to be that one. It's going to be that shot. They're going to be fighting this guy, blah, blah, blah. And then he's going to go, me. Everybody's going to hear the chainsaw. Everybody go, oh, yeah. And he's going to cut him up, and then that's going to be the only one.
Yeah, I can actually see that. But I think that there might be one, like, really epic one like that, but we might see some, like, other ones, like, often, like, in the background or something. So I'm going to go with a solid. I'm gonna go with 3.
3.
I'm gonna just go with 3, just cause. I'm gonna go with 3. We're gonna see 3 chainsaw kills
on screen. Okay.
And we'll have to figure out what happens with the winner. We'll figure that out later. But that's the bet.
Right.
How many chainsaw kills in the Gears movie? Boogie says 1. I say that there's gonna be at the very least 3. And we'll figure out what happens with the winner and loser at a later time.
Yeah. But
I'm definitely gonna be seeing this movie. I can't wait for it to come out.
I definitely will be seeing that.
Especially if my boy Lester, aka Terry Tate, is cast as Cole. They just make it happen, man.
If you're unfamiliar with Terry Tate, do yourself a favor. Google Terry Tate, the Office linebacker.
I'm not even gonna put it like in the stream. I'm not even gonna like put it in the video. I'm not like, because usually I would have like some kind of graphic to show like what we're talking about. Like that, you have to just go watch it on your own.
Watch it. Yeah.
I cannot do it justice just you looking, at it in silence. You have to like experience that for yourself. So go out and Google Terry Tate Office linebacker and just have a good time. And with that said, it's time for us to jump into our long form discussion. And this week we're going to be talking about consoles and the increasing need for a hard drive space. Now, in the previous story that we mentioned earlier in the podcast, we talked about Call of Duty and how the Infinite Warfare, along with the Modern Warfare remake, is going to require 130 gigabytes. That is just crazy, and at this point, it will probably, well, no, I think it is the most taxing, single disc.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, single disc on a console like ever.
Yeah, it doubles. it almost doubles the largest game on PlayStation 4,
Mm-hmm.
which was the Battlefield bundle that came in at about 74 gigs. And on Xbox One, the biggest game was about 62 and 3/4, 62.74, which was the Halo Master Chief Collection, which, what's that? That's like 4 games, right?
That was like 4 games.
Yeah. So, I mean, skipping collections, the single games, Elder Scrolls on Xbox One was at 55 gigs.
And that's an MMO.
And Diablo was 58 gigs on PlayStation 4.
And that's Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, which I think that included like a bunch of
DLC,
a bunch of DLC. Yeah, so that was kind of like the Game of the Year edition, which included like all of the like DLC expansions.
Right. And that doesn't even take into account, because this game, they announced it is going to be PlayStation Pro compatible, so it has the higher fidelity. So it's going to be at least a third more data on PlayStation Pro. I would imagine,
At the very least.
so you're looking at like maybe 150, 160 gigs for a game. I think that right there is outrageous. That is horrible.
And again, like you were stating, if it's a game that you're going to be playing a lot of, you're not going to want to take it off of your hard drive because you're going to have to reinstall it. So you're just going to have that mass of freaking data just always there. It's crazy. I don't think I'm using 160 gigs on my external as we speak, and I have a few games, man.
Yeah, I mean, I have about, the last I checked, I think I had about 40 games. A lot of them are like arcade games, but
Right, yeah, like digital like downloads and stuff.
yeah, I have about 40 games. I'm using about 300 gigs, I think. 350 gigs of hard drive space, which, I mean,
So for 40 games, like that's like half of that is just Call of Duty.
that's that. I don't understand. And the thing is, the games have been ballooning for a long time. I mean, this isn't anything new. It's just a huge jump. And I looked around. I haven't seen anything else of any of the other new games with their install sizes. I've looked around for some of the newer games that's coming out, like Battlefield. I definitely did a search for that just to see if that showed up. Yeah, Battlefield 1. I don't know what Gears is when it comes out Tuesday. But, I mean, come on, man. Really? What's in your game that's making it that large? I mean, the problem I have with it is right now, the big deal with the console sales is you could get your console starting at $299.
Right.
At $299, I get you a 500 gig hard drive, and this is taking up 25% of that 500 gig hard drive. If you want a bigger hard drive, you got to spend. They usually go up in tiers of 50, right? So for $349, you get a terabyte. But I think right now, the 1 terabyte hard drive is the largest you can get on any of the systems. I know I have a 2 terabyte Xbox One S, but that was special edition with the launch. I don't think there's any more of 2 terabyte versions out there. That's just. And not only is it problematic for the amount of space it's taking on your disk, it's problematic if you want to do a digital download.
Right.
I mean, download 130 gigs worth of data. I mean, even with the fast 1 gigabit, so there's a gigabyte and there's a gigabit. Gigabit is, what is a gigabit? It's like equivalent to 1 megabyte, I think, or something like that. I have to look it up, but it's not 1-to-1. It's a fraction of what the actual storage space is being used if you get gigabit internet. And the same thing with, like, you got 150 megabit download. That's not equal to 1 megabyte. I mean, it's significantly less. But it's the amount of time it'll take somebody on a high-speed internet connection. And when I say high-speed, I'm thinking at least 25 megs per second.
The 25 down, yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about a full day at least. At least it could take you more than that, and that's just outrageous. Not to mention now, if you get the disc, this game is going to be a Blu-ray dual layer Blu-ray disc. If I'm not mistaken, is about 58 gigabytes, something stuff. Let's just say 50 gigabytes.
Okay.
So now you're looking at 3 discs. So you got 3 Blu-ray discs that you have to swap in and out to install onto your system, and then after you get that installed, you know there's going to be a day one update because
Day one patch, yeah.
nobody releases a game anymore without a day one patch. So the people that's going to stand in line Monday night into early Tuesday morning to get this, they're going to go home. They're not going to be able to play for about 2 hours.
Nope.
I think that's becoming a bit too much.
Yeah, I mean, just recently, I picked up what's it called, Mafia 3 on the Xbox One, and I don't remember. Let me see if I can find it. I don't remember how big the file size was, but it took me quite a while to play it after I put it in the system and waited for the install. It took quite a while.
Yeah, I got Mafia 3. I couldn't tell you how long it took.
Yeah,
Because
I really didn't pay attention to how long it took, but I mean, I remember I was expecting to just like stream it, whatever, because I was live streaming that day, and like I started the stream, and I feel like it had to be at least like 45 minutes before I was actually playing the game.
yeah, I mean, and how big is that game? About
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find out.
35 gigs?
35 gigs, yeah.
Something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't have the exact number on me. I can find out later.
But even so, I mean, I don't think that's not outrageous. And even a game like a game that has a lot of expansion packs, right? Say a game like Destiny. Destiny is a 2-year-old game. I've been playing that. I mean, it came out with the vanilla game. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 There's been 4 expansions and 2 major content drops, and that's coming in at about 35 gigs.
Right. And then Call of Duty isn't the most like visually stunning like video game franchise out there.
What do they have in that game?
I don't know what they have in that game that's making it that big, because when I think of Call of Duty, I do not think of like the scenery or anything like that. So I honestly cannot tell. And then being a PC gamer, that it may not seem as much of a big deal. And there's plenty of games that come out on PC that are huge.
Right.
But like if this is your like second or third console, coming from the 360 where it was optional to have a game like actually on the hard drive,
right?
To come to the Xbox One and PS4, and like every single game that you own has to be on the hard drive. You can't run it off the disc. It's just it's just crazy.
That is actually, that's less to blame for the console maker. That's a technological flaw. I mean, it's the problem with the reason they do that is because all the games now on Blu-ray disc, and the Blu-ray disc read access is slow,
right?
And it'll make for unpleasant gaming. You basically be getting a lot of stop and go. I mean,
yeah.
There'll be a lot of times where you're stuck, you're not doing anything. So that
loading them load times, holy crap!
Right.
Just thinking about it, but I don't know. It's just weird for me, because I've never experienced it. I mean, this was a problem or a gripe that I had with this console generation back when it started. Is like, why do I have to download every single game to the disc, or
right.
to the hard drive? And now it's just like, well, damn, and like. Early in when the Xbox One came out, I had to go out and get me a 1 terabyte external hard drive, just so that I could keep all of my games installed.
Right.
Because otherwise,
you have to uninstall them, and
because I maxed that 500 gigs out real quick.
Right. It's not a lot of space, especially when you got games. I mean, if you think about it, these games are coming in on an average about 35 gigs, 25 to 35 gig, right? For an average game. If you're buying 5 to 10 games a year, after about 3 years, say you buy 10 games a year, right? That's 250 gigabytes. In 2 years, your hard drive is stuffed. You're done.
Yeah, unless you're deleting stuff.
Right.
And like I still have games on like that are like ready to download that I haven't downloaded yet
Yeah, because it's
because
space
of
issue.
like because of backwards compatibility has come into play. So there's a lot of games like that I own on my profile that aren't installed and probably won't get installed just because I don't want to max out my hard drive and my external.
Right.
It's getting kind of ridiculous when you have a game that comes out and it's damn near 150 gigs.
That's absurd. And again, this game, they say it's including all DLC up until the end of the year, December 31st.
Right. So
That's not all the DLC that's
that's not
coming
all the
out.
DLC.
There's more
We're good.
DLC coming out after that. So that game could easily be 150 or more.
Yeah. I'm
But
thinking
I mean,
by the end of life
it is
or
that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was saying like probably by the end of life you could be looking at like 200 gigs
Right, but
for Call of Duty.
it is Activision. Their DLC consists of rehashed 2 foot by 2 foot maps. So
Oh, true.
it might not be worth anything, the DLC that comes out, but still, I mean, if
That's just
that's
a lot, dude.
it's overwhelming. It's definitely overwhelming. And like I said, and I've crushed Sony for this, not including the 4K display on their disc. The assumption is everybody has these crazy high speed internet connections, and that's just not the reality.
That's not the case, my boy.
And when you've got these large games like this, I mean, even if you install it, if it's a first day patch, you know that first day patch is going to be at least 2
Yeah,
gigabytes.
at the very least 2. Yeah.
So you got somebody that's going to spend hours to install 130 gigs onto their system off your disk, and then going to make them wait longer to download and install a patch. And we're paying you for this.
Well, hopefully while it's downloading, you can kind of like segment the game so it'll download the campaign first. So hopefully that you can get through the campaign while you're waiting for the multiplayer to finish downloading or something. I don't know.
I'm not sure for PlayStation. I know on Xbox they do something like some games will do that where
Okay.
it'll let you load up the cutscenes, the beginning cutscenes, and start on the stage. A lot of times it's just a tutorial. I forgot what game it was. It was one game I played. It let me play like the first level, and by the time I got through the first level, because it was tutorial, so you're stopping and do whatever, but there was tutorial and some gameplay. By the time I got through that, the rest of the game was finished.
Okay, so yeah, so hopefully it allows you to do that. Otherwise, I don't see a lot of people even, because there's people that don't even like, if there's an option not to install the single player campaign,
They won't
like
install it.
they won't install it because a lot of Call of Duty players do not really care for the single player campaign.
My only guess is if that game is that large, they must be including some kind of esports type tools in it, right?
You know what? Yeah, that I didn't even think of that.
It's got to be some kind of esport, maybe. And if that's the case, I guess that's fine. If that's the case, and I will say this: if that's going to be an issue, where it's going to be a trend where game makers, developers, and publishers are going to be making these games this large to add esports type tools, Sony and Microsoft need to come out with something baked into their OS.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Because this is just absurd, and I ain't got the hard drive space for it.
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's insulting if you ask me. I mean, if you look at some of the more beautiful games out there, the games that are known for their visuals, like you look at Forza Motorsport, I mean, that was like 45 gigs, right?
Right.
You look at something like the Uncharted, the Great Collections, beautiful game, details, 41 gig. I mean, 130 gigs for Call of Duty. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Batman Arkham Knight. That was a huge game.
Yeah, that was that 30? No,
46.
46. Yep. Grand
That
Theft
was
Auto.
a huge. Yeah, Grand Theft
Another
Auto 5.
huge game. 41. I mean, those are
And
large.
these are like large, like open world games where you can go from one point to the other without any kind of loading times or anything.
Right.
Loading screens. I mean.
And it makes sense that type of game is that big. It has to be, right? For all the assets and everywhere you're going.
To render all of that at one time and then just have it flow seamlessly.
Last I checked, Call of Duty wasn't an open world game.
No. And then what the previous one in the Advanced Warfare was only 44 gigs.
Yeah, one third the size, and the last game, Black Ops 3, was only 41 gigs.
So I don't know what the hell they're doing with this one. We'll have to see.
Well, again, there's a second game in here, right? So there's two
True.
games, right? But still, if you cut it in half, that's still 75 gigs.
Right.
For a game. I mean, the Battlefield bundle was 75 gigs, but the Battlefield bundle included Battlefield 4 with all the DLC and Battlefield Hardline with all the DLC. So that's two games with DLCs, and that's half, just a little bit over half of what this one game, these two games are. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to let me know because I have absolutely no interest in picking up that game. We already know that you will be playing the remaster and only the remaster, unless they make it a requirement that you have to unlock it.
No,
I'm really hoping that they do that.
If they
That'd be
do,
so funny.
I will call Microsoft and tell them to give me my money back. Hopefully,
I really hope that that's the case. That's gonna make me so happy.
Why? Why?
Because I know that nobody wants to play Infinite Warfare.
Right.
So to force you to play it is just
that would
the
be
sweet misery
Yeah,
of those Call of Duty players.
I will call Microsoft and I will scream for hours until they delete this game off my system and put the money back in my account.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, if you got it for Steam, you'd only have to play for less than 30 minutes. Then you could just get a refund.
Yeah.
Yep.
Microsoft should implement something like that. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Sony too, for that matter, because Sony has the store too, the PSN store, PlayStation store.
Man, they got like 5 marketplaces on that console, man. I hate it.
I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that.
All right, so I'm getting baseball for my PlayStation. That's the only game I'll probably play. I won't be watching movies on it because there's no disc drive.
Yep, no disc drive. Nope.
Well, I'm sorry, no 4K disc drive.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our final thoughts. This is the part of the show where we can go back to any of the previous topics and make any final comments. Boogie, do you have anything that you want to say about any of our topics this week?
I'm interested in Gears of War. Hopefully, they don't shit to bed with that movie.
Yeah.
VR, I'm still interested, but I'm keeping my distance. Just Daydream VR. Daydream VR is cool. I almost jumped back from my iOS to Android, but Apple Pay's got me locked in. I love Apple Pay. I don't even use my phone. I use my watch. I love just hitting my watch, clink, and walk.
You can do that on Android as well, dude.
Not on the watches. Only on
your phone. You can do it.
Yeah, I don't want to take out my phone out of my pocket. I just press the button on my watch. Tap tap, bling. I'm done. I find myself skipping stores that don't accept Apple Pay too. So if you don't accept Apple Pay, I'm not coming to your store.
You will get no money from me unless you have Apple Pay. That's crazy.
That's right.
As far as me, as far as I'm concerned, definitely excited for the Gears of War movie whenever it does come out. I don't think they announced any kind of like time frame for it, but to know that it's actually happening, that is definitely a good thing. The mod support for Skyrim and Fallout 4, definitely a good thing for those people that are still interested in that game. I don't know how you're still interested in Skyrim after so many goddamn years, and especially if you're a modder, because if you're a Skyrim modder, you're playing it on PC, and it's already like the best thing ever.
Right.
So, yeah, but this is already going to be a dumbed down version of something on the PC. And
at least it gives you options. Right?
But it's the option, to have it as an option is definitely great. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Exactly.
So that's my opinion on that. And back on Gears of War, the game comes out on Tuesday, and we'll definitely be playing that.
Oh yeah, we're playing that.
Get into some Horde mode. You guys can catch that gameplay right here on this Twitch channel, because that's going to be fun. We're definitely going to live stream that. I cannot wait.
Oh yeah.
I cannot wait.
You can hear Boogie start calling out people's mamas.
Oh Lord. We'll get another patented boogie rant live on the Gears of War stream. So that's going to be really fun. And as far as Call of Duty is like, I'm just glad that I have distanced myself from that franchise a long time ago. So these are problems that I don't necessarily need to deal with. So that's my thing.
They're coming your way. The next Sonic game is going to be 220 gigs.
Yeah, Sonic Mania, 250 gigs, dude. Got to load in those fucking detailed ass freaking 32-bit sprites, man. Those sprites look amazing. I wouldn't be surprised now. Like, just looking at those sprites, dude.
Yeah, but still, it's still a lot less than 3D. Yeah, a lot less than the polygons.
Yeah.
But
so now that we got our final thoughts out of the way, we're going to go ahead and end the show, guys. You can always catch us on our Facebook page. You can search us on Facebook at a weekly gaming news show or AWGNS. Make sure you like us there on Facebook. You can get all of our show notes. You can also follow us on Twitter at AWGamingNS. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter and keep up with us. You can send us any kind of like comments or feedback or any stories that you would like us to cover. You can send it there or on Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel. We don't have a custom link yet because we do not have 100 subscribers. Please go to our YouTube page and subscribe. If you like what you see here, make sure you subscribe, because not only do we archive the video portion of the podcast there, but we also upload other videos. Lately, we've been doing unboxing. I have been unboxing the Loot Gaming boxes there, and anything else that we get that we gamer related that has a box. Like, I actually have a couple that are coming up really soon.
Your collector's edition.
Yeah, I have a couple collector's editions that I have ordered. And when I get them, I will be unboxing them for that YouTube page. So if you like unboxing and anything else that we can think of, if we come up with any other good ideas that are worth uploading to the channel, we'll definitely be doing that. If you are listening to us, we definitely want to thank you. But Boogie, can you please let them know where they can hear us?
If you're listening to us, you want to hear us on the go, on your bike, in your car, while you're walking, while you're running. You can get us on iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, or use your favorite podcasting app. You can search us all spelled out, A Weekly Gaming News Show, or you can search AWGNS. Go to iTunes, go to Google Play, rate us, leave a comment or two. Let us know how we're doing, what you'd like to see us improve on. Definitely let us know how we're doing. We do this. Yeah, we do this for you guys, and we want you to like it. So,
yeah, definitely give us a rate. Any constructive criticism will be greatly appreciated. But now that we got that said, you had something else you wanted to add?
One more thing. We mentioned in the show, kind of in passing, that holiday shopping is coming up. Black Friday. Yeah. That's the 25th of November. Before Black Friday, we're going to have a console buyer's guide. We're going to be doing that the week before. So that the 20th, that Sunday before, we'll have the console buyer's guide. We'll talk about the consoles. We'll go in detail. And we'll also talk about some TVs that you want to match up with some of these new 4K HDR compatible consoles, and any other gaming tech that's going to be hot for this holiday season. We'll find a deal. So definitely mark that on your calendar. November 20th, the first annual weekly gaming news show by Console Buyer's Guide.
Yeah, so that's going to be really, really fun. And all of that information will be posted on our Facebook page. So definitely check that out there. Look forward to it. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. My name is Trenell.
I am Todd.
And we will see you guys next week.
Peace out.
Peace.